Hello, second graders. So we're still learning about time today, okay? The first thing we're going to talk about is telling time to the minute, okay? Previously, we've really only done telling time to an o'clock time, like 12 o'clock, or a quarter hour, like 12:15, or a half hour, like 12:30, or another quarter hour, like 12:45, or an o'clock, like 1 o'clock, okay? So we haven't really done, like, if the clock looks like this, what time is it? So we're going to talk about how we know what time it is. Now, I want you to think about this. How long is 1 hour? It's 60 minutes, okay? So that means that our clock face is not only divided into hours, but it's also divided into minutes. Now, if you look here, there's a dot for every minute. Now, from the 12 to the 1 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. From the 1 to the 2 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Which means as we go around to our big numbers on our clock face, like these, we're going to be counting by fives. Now, you know how to count by fives. All right, so if we count by fives around, then that helps us know that when the minute hand is pointing at that number, it's going to be that many minutes, okay? So what I want you to do is I want you to work on page 279 to fill in the boxes around the outside of the clock face that have the minute time in them, okay? And we're going to do the first we'll do the first 4 together. Okay, so you can go ahead and fill this in with me as we do it. Remember, we're going to be counting by fives. Okay, you can fill it in with me, or you can pause the video and go ahead and finish it on your own. Okay, so we've got 5, 10, 15, 20. So next would be 25, then 30. Okay, you know how to count by fives. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 35, 40. Okay, you know how to count by fives. So go ahead and finish going around the clock to count by fives. Okay, and that is how we know what time it is when the minute hand is pointing at those numbers. So now I'm going to show some different times on my clock, and we're going to talk about what time it would be. Now, if my clock looks like this, my hour hand it looks like it's at the 3, but it's not quite to the 3 yet, because we know that when this minute hand is over on this side, our hour hand gets closer and closer to the next number. So it's actually 2 is the hour, and my minute hand is pointing at the 10, which if I count by fives around, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So it would be 2:50, and I would write that like this. When I write time, I write my hour, 2, and then I have a colon, which is 2 dots, and then my minutes, 50. 2:50 is my time. Okay, so on page 280, you are going to look at the times that the clock has shown, and you're going to write the minutes. Not all of them are going to be familiar to you, so you might have to count by fives to figure out those minutes, okay? Now, let's look, before you get too busy in your workbook, I want you to look at page 281. Okay, on that page, they show you the time on a digital clock, so they show you the time like this, and you have to make it on your clock. So, for example, let's do one that's not on here. So let's do 8:55. Okay, so we've got 8:55. So I know that for my 55, let's do minute hand first so we can get that figured out. For my 55, I need to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So my minute hand, which is my long hand, is going to be pointing at my 11. Okay? And then my hour hand is 8, but it's actually getting closer to 9. So my hour hand is going to be pointing kind of closer to the 9. Okay? So that is how I would draw 8:55. So I want you to go ahead, and if you haven't finished, you need to do page 279, 280, and 281 in your workbook. If you have questions, you can rewatch the video or you can ask for some help.